Welcome. In this video, we're going to go over the timeline and demographic tools. To do that, I'm going to make a basic query looking at patients who have had bone and joint cancer and who have been admitted to the hospital. As you'll see, I have open cancer cases in the Navigate Term section of HERON. I'll open up the cancer cases and scroll down to See Your Site Summary. Again, I have this open already, and I'm going to drag over bones and joints. These are our patients who have bone and joint cancers. Now I'm going to scroll down to the University Health System Consortium. This has data about inpatient stays. I'll open up UHC visit details and length of stay. The length of stay you'll see has expected length of stay, hospital length of stay, and ICU days. I'm interested in the patient's actual hospital length of stay, which I'll pull into group 2. I'm going to choose no value. I don't care if they've been in the hospital for 1 day or 15 days, just as long as they've been admitted to the hospital. I'm also going to go ahead and pull over ICU days, and again, choose no value. So this is if they've ever been admitted to the hospital or to the ICU. These patients, again, because they're in group 1 and group 2, they have to meet the criteria in group 1 and the criteria in group 2. I'm going to hit Run Query, and I'm going to choose number of patients, patient list, and timeline. As this query runs, it will start to draw up the timeline based on the information that we had in our query. So as you'll see, you can zoom in on the timeline and zoom out. I'm going to expand this window of the timeline. I can do that by clicking on this button, Resize Workspace. This lets the timeline take up the whole web page. For this first patient, you can see some de-identified information. We have a patient number. We know that he is male, 46 years old, and Caucasian. We specified that he had to have a diagnosis of bone and joint cancer. You can click on this tick mark to see the date. It has a start date of March 11th, 2015. Then you can see his hospital length of stays on the next line down here. It looks like he has had several hospital lengths of stay. You can click on these to find the start and the end date. This length of stay began on April 1st, 2015 and ended on April 8th, 2015. He had longer length of stays and also shorter length of stays. You can see visually how long the length of stay was based on the hatches continuing. He was also admitted to the ICU on May 9th, 2015, that's the start date, and then discharged on May 28th, 2015. You can do that with the other patients. Go through and look at when patients had different diagnoses, when they were admitted to the hospital, and based on the terms that you pulled into your search, you can see other facts about them. Alright, I'm going to close this, make this window a little bit smaller, and go into Analysis Tools. Here you'll find demographics based on one patient set. You can also compare demographics between two patient sets. And again, another way to make a timeline, you can click on Analysis Tools. I saved a patient set, so when I open up my previous query and open up results, you'll see a patient set. So I could always drag this patient set up here, and then drag in any concepts that I'm interested in, such as hospital length of stay and ICU days. That will plot out anything that I pull in to the concepts, and then I could click on View Results. Since we've already seen the timeline, so here's the timeline redrawn up. Since we've seen this already, I'm going to go ahead and click on Analysis Tools and click on Demographics. So since I saved the patient set, I can just drag my patient set here and click on View Results. So you'll see we have 179 patients in this cohort. I'll see the breakdown of ages. We have Slightly more males than females, about 105 males and 74 females. Race is primarily Caucasian. Language is primarily English speaking. Slightly more patients who are married than single. And then you can continue looking at the other demographics. We have religion, and then if they're deceased or not. Yes means that they are deceased. No means that they're not deceased. And the @ symbol means that we're not sure. This concludes our video. Thank you so much for watching.